we should boycott that bad boy. Nobody should show up. Nobody should want to go into that Hall of Fame if Bill Belichick ain't in as a first ballot Hall of Famer. 6 championships as a head coach, 8 overall, 2 as a defense.
The NFL world woke up heated when the Hall of Fame ballot dropped and Bill Belichick was not listed as a first ballot inductee. 8 Super Bowl rings as a head coach, decades of dominance, and still not unanimous love from voters. That set off alarms everywhere. The debate instantly went from football talk to credibility talk. How does the most decorated head coach in league history not walk straight into Canton on the first try? That question hit television studios, podcasts, locker rooms, and social media all at once. And when Stephen A. Smith started raising his voice about it on air, the temperature jumped even higher. He didn't dance around it. He called it disrespect. He called it politics. He called it a stain on the system. And then Tom Brady weighed in. That's when it became nuclear. As sources claim, at least 11 Hall of Fame voters did not list Belichick on their ballots.
So, Stephen A., your reaction?
Couple of things. Number one, I want to respect my elders, Mr. Bill Polian. Sit down. Just don't say anything. You don't 100% recall whether you voted for him or not, but you recall everything else you said and what you didn't say. But you didn't recall whether you voted for the man. So you remember everything surrounding the subject, but you don't remember whether or not you actually voted for him 100%. That's the most asinine thing that I've heard in quite some time. Sit down. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to be disrespectful to my elders, okay? My mama was watching me from above. I'm trying to be nice, but this is ridiculous, okay?
That detail shocked insiders more than the outcome itself. The Pro Football Hall of Fame requires 80% approval from its selection committee, which is made up of media members from across the country. The rules allow voters to prioritize so-called last chance candidates, older finalists who may not have many opportunities left. But critics argue that logic makes no sense when an obvious legend is available. If there is a Mount Rushmore of coaches, Belichick is carved in stone, so why hesitate? Some analysts claim the backlog issue played a role. There are only 5 modern-era inductees allowed each year, which creates bottlenecks. But fans are not buying it. When someone wins 6 Super Bowls with one franchise, reshapes defensive schemes, and dominates a salary cap era built for parity, excuses sound weak. The league itself has been celebrating the Patriots dynasty with documentaries and anniversary tributes. Yet when the time came to officially stamp it in bronze, hesitation showed up. That contradiction is what lit the fuse. Stephen A. Smith reportedly argued that if Belichick isn't first ballot, then the term first ballot means nothing. Tom Brady echoed similar frustration, questioning what standard even exists if the winningest modern coach cannot clear it immediately.
That Robert Kraft is a part of this as well. Robert Kraft did not want to go into the Hall of Fame with Bill Belichick. I'm convinced of that. Robert Kraft is the most powerful owner in all of football. And he's going to give great joy out of the fact that A, he got in before Belichick, and B, Belichick did not get in. This is a Robert Kraft production, a bitter, jealous old man who didn't like the fact that Belichick was just better than him. The thing that you and I miss out on, you know full well that Jordan Hudson was going to be the one to introduce him.
Oh, yeah.
And that would have been awesome theater. I want to talk about my boyfriend. I love the fact that when he first scouted me out in elementary school, he knew that I had potential. And then when he started sleeping with me in high school, he knew how to map to something big. My boyfriend, Bill Belichick.
Around the league, former players reportedly expressed disbelief. As sources claim, several retired veterans said privately that if Belichick had coached for a media-friendly franchise or maintained warmer relationships with reporters, the vote might have been different. That is where the politics narrative comes in. And once politics enters the conversation, trust leaves the room. The debate is no longer just about one coach. It is about whether dominance gets punished instead of rewarded. It is about whether voters quietly weigh personality over performance. And it is about whether old controversies still hang in the air even when nobody wants to admit it. Because when a legend has to wait, the system itself starts looking shaky. Now the Spygate and Deflategate shadows are creeping back into headlines. Officially, Hall of Fame voters insist scandals do not factor into decisions. But unofficially, as sources claim, some voters admit privately that legacy context always matters. That phrase has become code for controversy. Belichick's teams were investigated, penalties were handed down, draft picks were forfeited. The record books, however, still show championships. Critics argue that the league punished those events years ago, so revisiting them through Hall voting feels like double jeopardy. Supporters of the voters counter that integrity matters in historical evaluation. That tension is driving the whole storm. Stephen A. Smith reportedly broke it down in simple terms. If championships are the ultimate currency in football, Belichick is wealthy beyond comparison. He built top-ranked defenses, developed overlooked players into stars, and adjusted schemes weekly like a chess grandmaster.
Number one, when you make that statement, Bill Polian, you're lying. And you know you're lying.
Okay.
You know you didn't vote for him.
Yeah.
You know you didn't vote for him.
Talk, T.
Don't lie.
Talk, T.
This is perfect because, one, Bill Belichick, and when I say this is perfect, it's because this whole process now needs to be overhauled. It needs to be overhauled. The whole voting process is guys that's in that probably shouldn't be in, and there's guys that aren't in that really should be in. If you didn't vote for Bill Belichick, you should be stripped of your voting rights. Everybody that didn't vote for Bill Belichick, you should be. He's earned this, man. He's earned this. Like when you earn something, you should get rewarded for what you've accomplished. The same thing they did to T.O. Same thing they did to T.O.
Yep.
T.O. should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. He wasn't. Anybody that did not vote for Bill Belichick should be stripped. They should never be able to vote again.
That's an incredible
They should
take.
never be able to vote again because they made this personal. Was it okay, we on the baseball stuff. They felt like he cheated, so we're not voting him in.
Yep.
Are you not going to ever vote him in now?
Yep.
Because that's what's happened in baseball. The guys that cheated, they have yet to get voted in.
Yep.
So now you're going to do this with Bill? Or did you not vote him in because he was mean to you in press conferences and you're holding the grudge that he was mean to you? He didn't give you the answer you wanted. I don't know Belichick. I met him, said what's up. But for him and his family, bro, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Because he's earned this. When you think, you can't even tell the story of the National Football League without bringing up Bill Belichick. You can't tell the story of the National Football League. Without
Tom Brady's voice added weight because it came from the quarterback who won 6 titles under Belichick's leadership. Brady suggested that separating coach and quarterback success ignores how dynasties are actually built. According to league chatter, Brady believes dominance should never be penalized for being uncomfortable or controversial. Hall of Fame voting is secret. That secrecy protects voters but fuels suspicion. As sources claim, some insiders argue that anonymity allows personal grudges to influence decisions without accountability. If 11 voters withheld support, the public will never know their names or reasoning. That mystery becomes gasoline for speculation. Fans point out that other coaches with fewer championships walked in easily, so why create a higher bar now? Another factor being discussed is personality. Belichick has never been media-friendly. Press conferences were short, guarded, and sometimes icy. In a system where media members hold the votes, relationships can matter. It may not be official policy, but human nature plays a role. That's the street-level reality insiders keep hinting at. If you make friends in the room, you get the benefit of the doubt. If you do not, you may face resistance. The Hall of Fame has always been a mix of achievement and narrative. This situation exposed how fragile that balance is. Because when someone as accomplished as Belichick faces delay, people start questioning whether greatness alone is enough. And once that doubt creeps in, every future ballot will be examined under a microscope. Fans across the country reacted instantly. Social feeds filled with clips of Belichick lifting Lombardi trophies, defensive breakdowns of his genius adjustments, and comparisons to legendary coaches of past eras. Many argued that the standard seems inconsistent. If 8 rings combined as coordinator and head coach do not guarantee first ballot entry, what does? The outrage grew louder when analysts pointed out that some voters admitted they wanted to spread the wealth among finalists. Critics said this is not participation awards, this is the Hall of Fame. Tom Brady's comments carried special weight. As sources claim, Brady reportedly told close associates that the debate should not even exist. He questioned whether dominance has become uncomfortable for voters who prefer balance and parity. The Patriots era was not balanced, it was relentless, and perhaps that relentlessness rubbed some people the wrong way. Brady did not attack anyone personally, but his tone suggested deep frustration. When the greatest quarterback of the era defends the greatest coach of the era, that unity sends a message. Stephen A. Smith amplified that message on national television. He framed the situation as institutional inconsistency. If voters claim to honor greatness, then hesitation toward Belichick appears hypocritical. He suggested that the Hall risks damaging its own credibility by delaying obvious legends. That argument resonated because fans already distrust voting processes in sports awards. This moment added more fuel to that skepticism, as sources claim several current coaches privately expressed disbelief as well. They study Belichick's defensive disguises, situational mastery, and roster construction models. His influence is everywhere in modern football. Assistants from his coaching tree have spread across the league. Strategies he pioneered are now standard practice. When influence reaches that level, Hall recognition should feel automatic. Instead, the debate has grown louder by the day. Talk shows are replaying old footage. Analysts are dissecting the voting rules. Fans are questioning the 80% threshold. The Hall intended to celebrate history. Instead, it triggered a credibility storm that refuses to quiet down. At the center of this entire controversy is a bigger question about legacy. Is the Hall rewarding greatness, or is it negotiating it? Belichick's career speaks in championships, playoff wins, and defensive masterclasses. Yet the delay suggests there is more to the equation. As sources claim, some voters wanted to avoid unanimous narratives, preferring to maintain exclusivity around first ballot status. That logic may protect the mystique of the honor, but it also risks alienating fans who see the outcome as obvious. The latest reports indicate Belichick remains calm publicly. No fiery statements, no dramatic responses. That silence contrasts sharply with the volume of debate surrounding him. Stephen A. Smith continues to defend the idea that the Hall must correct course next year. Tom Brady's stance has inspired former teammates to speak up in interviews. Even neutral analysts admit the optics look bad. This episode has forced transparency conversations. Should votes be public? Should reasoning be documented? Should there be a separate automatic path for individuals with overwhelming championship resumes? Those questions are not going away. The Hall may have underestimated how emotional this decision would be. In the end, the debate might strengthen Belichick's legend. Greatness often becomes clearer when challenged, but it also leaves a mark on the institution itself. When fans start doubting fairness, the entire structure feels unstable. If this breakdown hit hard and laid out the full story behind the chaos, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest moments shaking the NFL world.